A fourth election in 2 years is not without reason. With Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party unable to form a majority coalition 3 times over again as he faces corruption charges and a global pandemic. Israelis are skeptical that this coming election will see a fruitful and lasting result. Let's speak with member of Knesset from Likud, May Golan. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So I was just speaking with Tamar Zandberg from Meretz, and she mentioned to me that Israelis have largely lost their trust in Netanyahu. How do you respond to that?
Well, it's complete bollocks, because if they would have lost complete trust in Netanyahu, they wouldn't have voted over and over and over again. And Likud with Prime Minister Netanyahu wouldn't be the biggest party that has, ever been in the last decade. Listen, opposition will say what the opposition say, but in the end of the day, the voters decide, and we take it out to the voters. We tried this unity thing, we tried this rotation thing, it didn't work, it won't work again, and no one has a steady, safe coalition without Netanyahu. That's the fact, and no one wants to go to fifth elections. That's why we're going to these elections. I truly hope that the voters and the public will actually go and vote and give a real resolution and real decision to what this government needs, because this country needs a strong, steady government. And I, for one, can tell you, not because I'm in Likud, really, let's put sarcasm aside, but because when you see what's out there and when you see what Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister, has brought to this country for the last decade, I don't know how someone can say that he's so bad for this country. The economic is the strongest and the best that it has ever been. We have foreign relations with the world that we have never dreamed of. The only reason we are standing strong right now after the vaccines that no country in the world has like us is because of Benjamin Netanyahu. But, it's hard to be in the opposition and talk bad and talk trash about someone that all he's doing is good.
With that said, Netanyahu is facing corruption charges, and there have been several members of Likud that have actually finally decided to leave the party and not support him anymore. Why did you decide to stay?
Well, first of all, the people who left are not really, two of them. Let's not, Shasha Bitton and Michal Shir really just came to Likud 2 minutes ago. Sharon Askel always went against. I don't think she was ever true Likud member. She came from all kinds of other opinions. And Gideon Sa'ar and Zev Elkin, well, look, when you are being pushed aside and you feel bitter, that's what happened. That is what's happened, and I can't blame them. They make their own choices. It's theirs. I, for one, think it's a huge mistake. But let me tell you that no one in Likud doesn't trust the Prime Minister. No one wants to leave Likud. And I might dare and say that if something will happen, it will be that the other people will want to come back. I'm not sure there will be a political house for them, but they will want to come back. Trust me on this.
Have you heard someone say that they're interested in coming back to the party?
Let me tell you that I hear voices of people that all they're trying to do is find some sort of a wave to ride on the way to politics. And this is not a way. I, for one, came from a fight of 10 years struggle. I put myself out there. I'm the reason, that you have to vote Likud, because this is the only party that gives you actual democratic primaries, that gives you a chance. Look at me. I'm someone that didn't come with a lot of funds, wasn't a famous degree, didn't come from money or established, house, but was able to come and put myself out there and get elected. No other party can say that, not alone the party, Gideon Sa'ar, that all it's based on is hate. Hate towards what? Towards the people that you were just with, that you just worked with? It's the hugest hypocrisy that I've ever seen.
So Likud is now hovering in the polls around 28, 29 seats. I wonder what you think that will end up being and what sort of coalitions you're expecting to be formed.
Well, first of all, I'm number 30. So, if I was stressed, you would have seen it right now. I'm not. Let me tell you that if I would believe the polls, then I wouldn't be a member of the Knesset for the last 3 Knesset. It's crazy to say. I'm 2 years member of the Knesset already, 4th elections. It's crazy, but sad, but crazy. And if we would have believed the polls, then Prime Minister Netanyahu wouldn't be in position and Trump wouldn't get elected, and we would have similar, different things around the world. I don't believe the polls. I know that what is going on in the media these days, and I'm saying it with a lot of sorrow, is really trying to engineer the way we think, trying to make the public think that Likud won't be able, so just vote for someone else. They won't be able to form a government. Let me tell you, Likud will get at least 35 seats. Here I'm saying it, and I'm counting working on it. But the only thing is that the voters of Likud are out there. They're there, but they think they're so, sure that Likud is going to be the one to form the government that they won't go out to vote, and that's the only mistake. This relaxment that I just made up a word, but the way that they are sitting relaxed at home and thinking that everything will be okay, it won't happen like that. They need to go out and vote, and I do believe that this is our only chance to actually form a strong right-wing coalition, one that doesn't bend to anyone, is not scared to actually bring our truth out there. We were voted in order to bring our ideology out there, not in order for the Supreme Court judges to tell us what to do, let alone, blue and white party that no one even remembers who was there and was trying, to make themselves to be heroes with ministers that you never heard of.
Netanyahu was doing a lot of work in this election campaign to court Arab Israeli voters, the Arab Israeli community. I wonder if you think that tactic will work.
Well, I really don't think it's a tactic. Let me tell you. It's funny, because no matter what we do, it's not good. If we don't help the Arab citizens, then we're racist and we're fascists. And if we do help the Arab citizens, then we're trying to court them and we're trying, to only get their votes for elections. Let me tell you, it's a fact, something that's a fact. The Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, and this government is the only government that gave the most money, and I'm talking about millions and millions, to the Arab community. It's the only government that wanted to open and did open, even though they objected to it, did open police stations in order to try and fight the crimes that has been happening in the Arab sector. And who was against it? Who was against it? Tamar Zandberg and her party was against it. They voted against it. Who else was against it? The people that claim to represent the Arab votes. And the Arab people understand that. The Arab sector in Israel understand that. They don't care for their interests. They don't care for their well-being, for their safety. We do.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.